This program is brought to you by UCKG.
It's happening in every neighborhood.
Open the door! Who is it? Huh? This is why you really want to leave me. No, I didn't.
Down every street. Sickness, addiction, and violence has been turning countless homes into crime scenes. Suffering, depressed, alone, suicidal.
Welcome to your program Problems and Solutions. A very good evening. It's a pleasure to be with you here on Optakanalen Tuesday today. And we are here, as you know, from Tuesday to Friday. We have this appointment here on the Optakanalen at 8 p.m. to 8:15. Just 50 minutes of power of faith to tell you that for your problem there is a solution. Because probably you have been heard or you have been hearing from people that there is no solution for your problem. Maybe you are a person that you have been receiving many negative words, and maybe people already discouraged you, said that there is no hope for you. But I'm here to tell you that there is a solution. And I'm not just to tell you with words, but I am going to prove to you through stories of people that had problems, but they found through God the solution. Because you need to understand one thing very clear. God is the solution. God is the solution. And if you are not been finding your solution, it's because you didn't lean to God. Perhaps you knock at many doors, you tried in many ways. Nothing has been happening so far because the only one that can solve your problem is God. Let's go and let's watch stories of people. If in the meantime you want our help, you know that below your screen there is our contact number, our WhatsApp number, our line number. If you are watching us through our social media, UCKG Sweden, our Facebook page or our YouTube page, you can also send us a request through our messenger. Stay with us.
My lifestyle before coming to the church was quite a reckless one. I used to go out clubbing every night. I used to lie in bed most of the day. I wasn't working, and I hadn't worked for about 15 years. I didn't have any goals or any ambition in life. I didn't really know where I was going. I wasn't going anywhere. So my addiction started when I was about 13, 14, when I started smoking at school. My friend introduced me to cigarettes, and because I was such a depressed teenager, I just took it on, and we used to spend our dinner money on cigarettes, and we used to go and smoke in there was a park near my school. We used to go and smoke in the park, and we used to get through, I think, a packet of 20 cigarettes a day between us. That was at the age of 13, 14, and that continued, and I smoked on and off until I was about 30, 35. I carried on smoking for about a good 20 years. And then later on, when I stopped smoking, I became addicted to clubbing. I used to go out practically every single night, if not 7 nights a week, then at least 6 nights a week. I used to go out clubbing because I was addicted to dancing. When I was on the dance floor, I felt really happy. I felt like a buzz and excitement, which I didn't have yet the rest of the time. So I would be in nightclubs every single night. My addiction was triggered by, there was a loneliness in my heart. And what happened was I decided to join an evening class for Latin American dancing, salsa, merengue. And when I learned, I just went to the club to see how it was. And from the time I went there, I loved the buzz, I loved the excitement. So I just started going every single night. I just became addicted. There was a lot of people addicted like me, and we would just go from one club to the other every single night. There wasn't a night, maybe there was one night in the week I didn't go out, but then I would just feel depressed and I'd just wait for the following night. I'd go about 11, 12, and I'd come home about 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. My lowest point was when I stood on the edge of King's Cross Underground station, and I really wanted to jump in the underground because I was just feeling so low, so depressed. Because I'd met someone at the nightclub and he'd kind of like ditched me, and I just couldn't carry on. I just didn't know what to do with my life. And it was like, you know, I couldn't get that buzz, that excitement. It was like no matter what I did, I just wanted to kill myself. I didn't want to carry on living anymore. That was really my lowest point. When I came to the help centre, after a few sessions, like in the beginning, I was still going out. I was going to a nightclub. I thought everything was fine. And then one of the advisors said to me that I shouldn't be going to the nightclub. I can't really mix the two. But for me, it was really difficult to stop because that was the life I'd made for myself. I couldn't just stop and, you know, just stop going there. So what I would do, I would come dressed in shorts or a miniskirt, and I'd have a long raincoat over the top, and I'd take part in the service, and then the minute the service ended on the way home, I'd stop off and I'd go to the clubs in central London, and then in the morning I'd go back home. So I carried on for quite a few months because I didn't have the strength to stop. I couldn't stop because I enjoyed both. I enjoyed coming for the meetings to the church, but I also enjoyed my clubbing and my nightlife outside. So I didn't want to trade one for the other, so I just carried on. I've been free from this addiction, it must be about 16 years now. I don't go to clubs anymore, I'm not addicted anymore to dancing or anything like that. But it was so crazy because in the beginning, I'll never forget that I came for a meeting for a church service, and during the offering they gave me a free Bible. And I remember I was so happy to receive this Bible, and I put it in my pocket in my raincoat, and I went to the nightclub and I lost it in the nightclub. So the following morning I rang the nightclub and I said to them, you know, have you found my Bible? I lost a Bible in the nightclub. And they just said to me, we don't do Bibles, and they put the phone down on me. I think they were quite, you know, annoyed that I would even bring a Bible in the nightclub, but that's how bad the addiction was. And I remember feeling really, really upset that I lost this brand new Bible that I was given as a gift. So, but I just couldn't stop, you know, I couldn't balance it. But now, thank God, I'm free. I'm completely free. If anyone's in my situation, I would say to them, you can be free from your addiction. But obviously it's a process, but the first thing is you have to want to be free. You have to want it in your mind, because when I finally made a decision that I didn't want this way of life, then, you know, obviously I asked God for strength to help me, and He helped me, and I was able to cut the dancing, I was able to cut the smoking, because the smoking I would smoke on and off. I was able to cut everything because God gave me the strength to be able to do what I couldn't do on my own. So, you know, anybody who's in my situation, don't give up on yourself. There is help available. You can be free. You can have a happy life. Because before I wasn't happy, even though I smoked, even though I danced, even though I went clubbing, I was not happy. I was the most miserable person. I would wake up in the morning and I would cry. I would go to bed crying, but now I don't have any addictions. I don't rely on anything to make me happy, and now I'm happy on my own. I am Ashken, and that was my story.
I had depression for 20 years.
I suffer from depression since I was a child, and I was always having depression.
I used to be depressed. I was depressed for about 2 or 3 years. I was 18 years old, and I was cutting myself in my stomach, and it got to the point where I went to Westminster Bridge to jump off.
I suffered with depression for 7 years. I used to cry myself to sleep, and I used to slit my wrist.
I suffered with depression, severe depression, for over 10 years. When I came here to the UCKG, I beated depression.
When I came to the UCKG, I learned how to beat depression.
And thankfully somebody invited me here to the help centre, and I'm not depressed anymore. That's it, I'm completely free, I'm happy, fulfilled.
When I came here, I beat depression.
And since I've been coming here now, I've been here now 19 years this year, and I can say that I am totally free from depression. I'm no longer depressed.
My name is Nadia Smith, and before arriving in the Universal Church, my life was filled with a lot of unhappiness, sadness, depression, stress. I was lost. I had a lot of family issues, juggling from place to place, didn't know where I was going to live at. And as a result, I used a lot of negative things as an outlet to repress from my stress because I didn't know how to handle life. I would do things like smoke weed and prostitution, as you would call it, and just be very depressed and sad and stayed away from the world. I didn't even have a clue that God would be the answer. I was coming to this church when I was in high school, but I was very stubborn. I didn't want to believe in any of it. I was very stuck in my own ways. And I noticed that the moment I did that, my life went from here all the way down. And I suffered from depression for about 3-4 years, just in a very, very dark place. And I did a lot of, crazy things. I thought it would fill the void, or it would help me be stress-free, or not think about my problems, or look at my problems like they aren't as big as they actually were. To me, it wasn't bad. To me, that suffering was normal, and it really wasn't. It really was an evil force, a very, very evil force. And coming here, learning about the chains of prayer, following the chains of prayer, over a period of time, at first I didn't get things because I was still very emotional, but over a period of time, getting to know God and staying obedient, I really allow Him to do the positive work in my life that I really needed, and I wouldn't have done it if I didn't follow the chains of prayer. Today, I am completely, I wouldn't say stress-free, but I am completely, it's nothing for me to be depressed about. No suicidal thoughts. I wake up and I thank God for my life every day. I was homeless. I didn't have a place to live. I was blessed with a very beautiful apartment. I lost my job in the course of me being homeless. I got blessed with a job where I was making 2 times more, and the job just fell on my lap out of nowhere. I can't believe it. And I don't regret following the chains of prayer, having God in my life at all. The things of the world are never the answer. God is always the answer. And if you follow and be obedient, you will get the result. Absolutely.
When we see, my dear friend, these stories, when we see the solution of these people's lives, that these people found a solution, this makes us to understand that there is nothing impossible to God. What you need to do is to give your step of faith. Let me tell you something. The step of faith usually is the hardest step, because it's the step of decision to fight, decision to take an action, and etc. But that step of faith is the most important step of your life. And when you take that step towards God, because maybe you took many steps, but you took towards people, you took towards doors, and that's why unfortunately nothing happened. But when you take this step of faith towards God, God is able to help you. The doors of the Universal Church are waiting for you and are open to you. And just give your step of faith and come, and surely that we're going to help you. We are in Sweden in 2 locations. Our headquarters, our main church is in Stockholm at the city center at the Birger Jarlsgatan 106. And by the way, tomorrow Wednesday is the day that we speak about the soul, because at the Universal Church every day we talk about the subject. And tomorrow Wednesday we're going to speak about the soul of those who need a healing inside of them. So tomorrow 7 p.m. you are our guest. And in Göteborg also we have our brunch on Sundays 11 o'clock in the morning, especially at the Ringögatan 13 Infart 7. If you want more information about our ministry, about the Universal Church, you can visit our website www.uckg.se. May God bless all of you. It was a pleasure to be with you. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we're going to come back with another program. But don't just be relying on our programs. Also join us here at the Universal Church. Take care.
Can you answer this question? Where will your soul go? The Lord Jesus said, "For what profit is it to a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul?" The great truth is that humans prepare for everything except death. Pay attention to your salvation. Act now whilst there is still a chance to do so, because tomorrow may be too late. Join us this Wednesday in the Faith School.
I'm not leaving this hospital until I know what's wrong with my daughter.
If you want out, that's fine with me.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.